In a half cardigan racking, the knitting happens the same way as your half cardigan does. But in between the rows that we knit, we are just going to move our bed. We are going to rack our bed from position 1 to position 2 and then back again. Your sample will look like this, and you can see there are tuck stitches in it, but you can see how the stitches start to travel in a zigzag manner. For the racking samples, we are going to work with 35 needles. So push 15 needles left and right to the 0 on both the front and the back beds. The bed is racked to position 1 and cast on. Hang your comb. The wire is in and the weights are attached. I'm going to flip the opposite cams. So this is for the all needle start, also called the start with the comb. And then open all your cams and knit across. So we've got our start. For the half cardigan racking, I'm going to start with the carriage on the right side, and I'm going to activate the tuck lever so that all the needles on the back are going to tuck and all the needles on the front are going to knit. Now carriages on the left side, I'm going to move the racking lever from position 1 to position 2. Release the tuck lever so that everything on both beds knit. Repeat this again. So tuck all the needles on the back, knit across. Now I'm going to move the bed rack from position 2 to position 1. Untuck. So knit all needles. So what you have to remember is that every time the carriage is on the right side, you are going to tuck the back bed. And every time the carriage is on the left side, you are going to untuck and rack your bed. In the swatch, you can see because the bed is racked, the stitches move in a zigzag manner. The knitting is exactly the same way as a full cardigan sample, except the bed is racked between rows, and that makes the stitches travel in a zigzag manner. But the stitch notation is exactly the same as full cardigan. We are going to do a full cardigan racking on the same sample. So switch color, get a contrast color, untuck your beds. That means you're knitting both, all needles on both beds, just to get a line of a different color in there before you start your next sample. Now for a full cardigan racking, carriage is on the right side. I'm going to tuck all the needles on my back bed and knit across. Now carriage is on the left side. I'm going to rack my bed to position 2, untuck the back and tuck the front. Remember to use your little tool to push the square up a little bit in case your machine, your carriage does not tuck all the needles. Untuck the front, tuck the back, knit across, release the tuck lever on the back, tuck the front and rack your bed. So again, every time you are on the left side, you're going to rack. Tuck the back, untuck the front. Release the lever on the back, tuck the front and rack. To get the herringbone pattern, it's racking happens, but the direction of the racking keeps shifting. So you can see how the stitches are moving in one direction, then they move in another direction, and then another. The next pattern that we are going to try on this sample is the herringbone pattern. Again, before you start that, switch color, get a contrast yarn, untuck both beds, and knit 2 rows across all needles just to get a line of different color. To begin the herringbone pattern, I will set my bed racked at position 1. I'm going to tuck the needles on the back bed. Everything is knitting on the front bed. Rack your bed to position 2, untuck the needles on the back bed and tuck the needles on the front bed. Release the front bed, tuck the back bed and rack to position 1. This is going to be my my second cycle. So release the tucks on the back, tuck the front, rack to position 2. So I just finished my second cycle. That means this is my 4th row. I'm starting my 3rd cycle. Release the tucks on the front, tuck the back bed, rack to position 1. So you notice that every time my carriage is on the right side, my bed is racked to position 1 before I take my carriage across. Release the tucks on the back, tuck the front bed and rack to position 2. This is the end of my 3rd cycle. I'm starting my 4th cycle. So again, tuck the back, untuck the front, rack to position 1, knit across. Repeat this for a total of 6 cycles. So now I'm going to start my 6th cycle. So releasing this, releasing the tuck on the front bed, tucking the back bed. I am going to rack to position 1. Release the tuck on the back, tuck the front bed, rack to position 2. Now I want to change directions. So I'm not going to rack my bed. My carriage is on the right side and my bed is racked at position 2. I'm going to release the tucks on the front, tuck the back and knit across. Now I will rack to position 1, release the tucks on the back, tuck the front and knit across. And I will repeat this for 6 cycles. So this is my 1st cycle. Tucking the back, racking to position 2, knit across. Release the back tuck, tuck the front, rack to position 1, knit across. Release the front, tuck the back, rack, knit across. This is my 3rd cycle starting. This is the end of my 6th cycle. I'm going to tuck the back bed, untuck the front. Do not rack this time. So your bed is set at position number 1. knit across, release the back, tuck the front, and now rack your bed. This is the end of cycle 1. I'm going to release the tuck on the front, tuck the back, rack your bed, knit across, release the back, tuck the front, rack your bed, knit across. This is end of cycle 2. Tuck the back, release the front, rack your bed, knit across. Untuck the front, untuck the back, tuck the front, rack your bed, knit across. This is the end of cycle 3. You will do this for 3 more cycles. And then when you come to the end of the 6th cycle, you are going to tuck the back, untuck the front, but this time you're not going to rack. Repeat this for another 6 cycles. So your sample should have a total of 4 position changes. Your direction should switch at least 4 times in your sample.